Happy Friday, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Annie Leib. Welcome to another Something New Live, The Why, with my fabulous wingman, Scott MacGregor. How are you, Scott?
What up? How are you?
So I'm good, and we have a really serious campaign going on right now that we want to share with everybody. We were just chatting about it a little bit. As everybody knows, they know Something New really well now. We've spotlighted everybody that works at Something New. We know what something good is. We know what we do. Everybody knows what we do and who we are and why, hence the whole show, right? But your infamous and famous wife, Meg MacGregor, has not come on the show.
No.
And it's a big problem because everyone else has been spotlighted. It's a big problem. And so we would like to say, if you could connect with Meg, reach out to her, get to her any possible way you can, using any platform, basically, and just tell her.
She's on no platforms other than LinkedIn. And that was that gun.
And just tell her, as you can see the plea in the ticker on the bottom, Meg MacGregor, please come on our show. Everybody wants to know Meg. She's a really special woman, but she just is, she's a ghost. So, I mean, I don't even really know if she exists. I'm kind of new to something, you don't know.
Why not?
So that's number one. Number two is,
she could just be like one of the, when you buy a picture frame,
she's one of those,
and you leave the picture of the person that's actually, she could just be that.
When you say that she does this back, like behind the scenes work, and Meg, and she's beautiful and my lovely wife, are you making her up?
I might be.
I mean, it's confusing. It's confusing to someone like me. I mean, now that we have a pandemic, you could do this easily. It could be like Weekend at Bernie's, like waving. I mean, you really, really don't know. So, I mean, she's home now, supposedly.
She is.
She's home. And, yesterday there was vacuuming when we were on a call. So, she's supposedly doing things and she never comes to say hello.
Never.
So we want people to get involved here. It's important. It's important for us for the before the end of 2020 to have Meg on.
Because the next one could be Find Meg. Like,
right.
Come home, Meg, come home. Like, where are you?
Right. Or where's Meg? Like Waldo.
Right.
Or where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Where in the world is Meg MacGregor? I think that's really the question. Where in the world is Meg MacGregor?
Right.
Right. So, on that note, we can switch gears now, because we did all the serious stuff already.
This is going to be a hard left, I think.
This is going to be, this is crazy. This is crazy. We're going to talk a little bit about resilience. So I have a story. I have two stories, actually, about resilience. And then I'm going to pick your brain about resilience for a few minutes. And then
One of my favorite topics.
Okay. So I rescued a dog this week. And it's a very big deal, to rescue a dog and to take on the commitment and to add this furry friend and member of the family. And I'm super excited about it. The kids are super excited, and we waited for the perfect dog. His name is Randall. He was actually found in an alleyway with children throwing rocks at him in a very bad part of Philadelphia. And this dog is now, he went from the Philly streets to eating, frozen, freeze-dried treats. I mean, he's in the lap of luxury. He's got a bed on top of my bed. He's under the fleece covers every night, and he's snuggling up, and he's eating well and being walked and playing and loved. And he's so sweet and kind and just the gentlest thing. And it just goes to show you, how resilient we can all be, that things can happen to us. We can get beaten down. Things can happen to us, and we can brush ourselves off and move on and still believe that there's goodness in this world. Do you agree with that?
I totally agree. Couldn't agree with you more. Absolutely.
I mean, dogs, people, he could be an angry, mean, he's Pitbull, he could be an angry, mean dog. He's very strong. He could be, but he's just has all this love to give. And
you want to show people, you want to show Randall to our
Sure. Would
Can
you
you
like
do
to
that?
go? All right, let's see.
You have the capability?
I do. So everyone.
Randall.
Randall, look.
Named after Randall Cunningham.
Yes. Hello,
former quarterback of the
everyone.
Eagles.
Hello.
Adorable.
Did you say
Adorable.
hi?
So that's Randall, and he's I'm going the wrong way. He's very resilient. You're resilient, aren't you, puppy? So that's the dog of the hour. And I think it's really, really incredible. The other story of resilience I have is actually about myself. And this is just 2 stories of resilience from this week. So imagine, what you could dig down and talk about and think about. But we had a little incident this week, as we know, which was a big deal for me when I tried to put on this build. You're laughing. You're laughing behind your mug. I tried to build, for anyone that doesn't know, I built a workshop we did as a team together, and it was about Something New Labs and being this big intro, and it was a Zoom webinar workshop. And I was really excited about it and prepared for it for a few weeks. And I practiced my part and I was all ready, which by the way, made me really good at talking about what we do. But at the very last second, Scott said that he couldn't get in. And I was like, oh, it's Scott. He's so technologically challenged, whatever. And it's 5 until 12 when it's supposed to start. And in fact, the link that went out to everyone coming, which was over 20 people, didn't work. So it was an utter, complete fail. And my first inclination was freaking out and being upset. And you guys were so incredible the way that you handled it. You were just like, Annie, like, let this be the worst thing that ever happens. Like, it's not a big deal. We'll make it bigger and better next time. And I just switched gears and I was like, you know what? It happens. And we talked about making a post about it. I posted about it, and you got to put Heather Moynihan had a post yesterday. I think it was yesterday, about she decided when she pivoted in her life to shine light on her shame instead of trying to hide it. And I think that's what I tried to do, was to shine light on it. Look, this happens, right? I'm human. I mean, I messed up the link. And the best part is I had the most amazing team to support me. So I was able to be resilient due to the people that I work with. And that's my story this week.
You did a phenomenal job. You bounced right back. You would have never known. I sent you a text later just to make sure you were A-okay. And you were like, right. Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm good. It was not the best day for me. It was not the best day. But listen, tell me, Scott, about your most recent, tell me about what resilience means to you first.
I mean, resilience is just your ability to bounce back from adversity. And that's why I see things in a different light. Like, I see things like the pandemic and other significant things that are negative. I kind of flip it and see them as positive, because they're building up my ability to persevere through things that will be a lot more difficult, that are going to come in the future, that I can't necessarily anticipate, but I know that they're going to be there. And I think when you build your resiliency, it's like a muscle. Then when you need it, it's there.
How do you think you got to that point to be able to do that? I mean, do you think you're born with, I was thinking about this earlier, like, are we born with an ability to be resilient, or do we, like you said, it's a muscle, we just keep growing and feeding?
I don't know. I don't think you're really born with it. I think it's something that, when you face adversity, it's all how you get through that adversity and how you view it and how you view future things that can go wrong. So I'm a big football fan. So there's a saying that a great quarterback or a great cornerback has a really short memory and has like amnesia, because when they get burned for a touchdown, like, they've got to forget about that very, very quickly. If you don't, and if you ruminate on it, first of all, it's going to do you no good, but it's going to set you up for more failure in the future. So you've got to, especially in sales. So I've always been in sales, either as an individual contributor or a leader or CEO. and you've got to heal quickly. If you're still boohooing, 2-3 days after you lose a deal, or something negative happens, like you screw up a link to a very, very important webinar, if you're still boohooing about it, then you're losing precious time, and you're focusing on things that aren't going to move you forward.
Rhonda said she thinks you're born with it and you continue to cultivate it.
So I wish we could pop Rhonda on, because I would love to talk about that. Maybe you are born with it, but I do think you can get better and better and better and more. You can become more resilient as time goes by.
Well, so I think that I actually was thinking about this when I was asking you about what I really think to be true. And I think that you actually you're born with it, and then you get knocked down so many times that it lessens, or you can strengthen it like a muscle. So it really depends on the person and your experiences, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, resiliency is so important, because we're all going to face our own adversity in life, in business and our personal lives. And if you're not resilient, you're going to get crushed by things. So I always feel like some of the most valuable, traits that you're looking for in people, I always say work ethic, discipline, and resiliency. Those are like my Trinity, Holy Trinity. They're just people that have those attributes are phenomenal employees.
So tell me them again.
Work ethic, discipline, and resiliency. I've never seen anyone who truly has all three of those fail. I've seen them fail on individual projects and individual things, but everybody fails. They always succeed, because they outwork other people. They're consistent. They are disciplined, so they keep doing the right things over and over again. And they're resilient. When they get knocked down, they get back up.
Because all of it, resilient. It's inevitable that you're going to fail if you take risks, if you try, if you do things. It works you towards your successes, right? So I think resiliency this is my word, Scott, for 2021. That's my word. So allow was my word for 2020. Yeah. Before 2020 started, and resilience is my word for 2021, because I want to pass that on to my clients, my friends, my people, my circle. And I think that we have to have that in times like this. We have to brush ourselves off and keep going. The world's going to keep going. It's like, no matter what we do. So we might as well have this perspective, like it's going to get better,
but passing that on to whether it's your kids or passing that on to your employees is huge. Because if you inoculate everybody, and they never really have to deal with adversity, when it hits them, it's going to hit them really hard. And I think I see a lot of examples of that outside of business, where I think people are protected to the point, and it comes from a good place, but people are actually doing, in most cases, their kids a disservice, because when adversity hits them, it's going to crush them.
Well, you're exactly right. And so it's very hard as a parent, as I'm sure it is as a CEO sometimes, and any leader, to not jump in and take the reins and do it. Like, how to do it better, how to do it stronger, how to do it faster, more efficient, because you've been doing it longer. But a true leader, and really a good parent, lets the child and the person or the employee fall. And that's
why I yell at you guys so much.
I know you do. You're really, really a yeller. So Rhonda said that she learns by watching. Every time I see her, she's becoming more and more resilient. It's because I have to be. Jonathan says resilience is key. This is something that has grown into a person through trials and adversity. So this is a great discussion. It's whether we're born with it or whether it's created in us.
I like to think. I don't like to think that there's a lot of things you're born with. Because then I think it's a kind of a cop-out.
If you don't have it,
listen, I wasn't born with it, or Annie's successful because she was born with it. It kind of, I mean, I've never really thought of this. This is literally coming into my head as we speak, so this may make no sense or be controversial, but I think it's like almost a victim mentality sometimes.
Really?
Be born with it, not born with it.
Or
If
that's
you're
just how
born with it,
I'm
you
wired?
kind of don't have to take responsibility because it's like, hey, I just didn't get that gene, or you have that gene, and that's why you're successful. I
I
think
don't.
you can get better at anything.
Michael thinks it's both. You're born with
He's
it.
probably right. I mean, the answer is always in the middle.
I think that's a really interesting conversation, though, about, you know, whether it's a cop out or not. That's such a you have such a military mentality, and with everything that you say and do, it's really interesting. That's not a bad thing. That's a compliment. It's just the way you see things is so, you know, like you have to build it and you have to make it strong and you have to and you have to acquire it and like I understand that. You know, I understand that you think that anybody has the ability. Do you think everybody can get to the same resilience level?
Probably pretty close. Pretty
Like some
close.
people just don't do it the right way, or some people just don't have the right leadership around them, or
I think it's easy to become. It's easy to be a victim because when you're a victim, you don't have to take responsibility.
it is.
So
It's very,
very easy to be a victim and blame. My company did this, and I couldn't hit quota because our
It was
product didn't do
astronomical,
this,
right?
or
Right.
we're in a pandemic, or whatever the case may be. I just in that way I'm wired. I am wired differently, which now I'm kind of contradicting myself. I'm just wired differently.
No.
I never want to be a victim. Like everything is my fault. I take responsibility for everything that happens. That's potentially negative, whether it's personal life or company. It's all how I choose to deal with it.
So really what it comes down to is it's all our perspective. It's all how we look at things and how we view things. And when we view things as that's just not how I am, it's like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not wired like that. The way I'm wired, whether I'm agreeing or disagreeing with what we've said or haven't said, like the way I'm wired is like, I don't know what it's like to not want to be the best or be really determined or diligent.
Right.
Or like, it's just not in me. Like to be like, well, that's just not me. Like, but I guess some people, I don't know. We're all different, right? But I think we do all have the ability to get back up again and try again. I mean, we're faced with stuff we have to be resilient about all the time. And you're right. You can turn to a victim mentality very easily, and play the blame game and the shame game and all that stuff. Jonathan said, the military will definitely let you know quickly how resilient you are. Yes, you are not born with it, but it can be learned as you overcome adversity. So maybe you become more resilient as there's more adversity in your life. So some people have it easier than other people, maybe. Michael's right. There are many layers to the conversation, for sure. For sure. We could talk about it for certainly a long time, but it's an interesting topic. I'm psyched for that to be my word. What's your word for 2021?
I haven't come up. It's funny that you say that because I was just on the phone with a client right before this, and we were talking about, either a saying or a word for the year, and I don't have one yet. I'll get back to you on that.
Like a mantra or a word.
Yeah,
this is my thing that I do because I think that resolutions can be. And I started it now. Like, why am I waiting till January 1st to implement my word resilience? I want to start it right now. Like, it's going to be my word that's overarching for 2021.
So are you going to put yourself in a position to be more resilient? Like, are you going to put yourself in positions to fail?
Well, I think anytime you take risks, you have the possibility of failing, but that's how you grow and evolve, right? So you're always.
That's why I love. So, my buddy Jesse Itzler always talks about masogis, and that's like putting something on your calendar that's big and scary, and that you might fail at. And it's that's one way to build resiliency, is to put a masogi on your calendar something that scares the hell out of you, that you're like, I'm not really sure I can do that. And whether you do it or you don't do it, in terms of the ultimate goal, I think you build resiliency regardless.
That's interesting.
So you need a Masogi. You need a Masogi, Annie Leib.
Well, I have like a generalized anxiety disorder, so I don't know if that's going to be good for me as far as like worrying about something big. But I do think that and I think we can, there's also like the law of attraction too. I don't know how much you buy into that, but like, I know you're kind of a little bit of, you could be a negative Ned when it comes to this stuff. You're like a hope, like, I mean, like, you don't expect the best, you think that you're realistic, as you say. You're realistic.
I always expect the best. So I think I'm very positive, but practical when it comes to business. Yeah. So, if people forecast that things are going to close, I see the reasons why they won't. Right. But I would say overall, I'm very positive.
When it comes to resiliency, I have one more comment about this, Scott. We have to go back for a second. When it comes to resiliency, I do think that I'm a really big supporter of the fact that when adversity comes along, I think that's a time to use that as a competitive advantage. And that's when real opportunity is there. I think that some people, a lot of people don't see that. They automatically see it as a hit and, oh, what are we going to do? And now this is bad and business is going to stink. And like over Christmas, retail is going to be hard. There's opportunity. There's still opportunity. And I think that resilience plays a big part in that, like where you have to kind of just say, wait a minute, we're not totally knocked down. I'm not going to, I have that positivity about me, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we're, through COVID, we've enhanced our business. We've grown our business. We've hired more people, and we're going to launch another business next week.
Are you wearing, what do you wear? Are you wearing like just a plain sweatshirt today? Because usually you're hiding something.
So this is typically my Masogi. So it's 29029.
He's moving the wrong way because, guys, he doesn't know which way the camera is.
I know. This camera thing screws me up. So it's my 29029 hoodie.
Yeah.
From climbing the equivalent of Everest.
The equivalent of Everest. What a story that is. Talk about resilience and getting knocked down and having to go back and.
That's a Masogi.
Yeah. So how do you spell Masogi so I can put it on my calendar?
Misorgi, I think.
Okay. All right.
I'm sure somebody could chime in and tell us.
I know. And Rhonda probably doesn't realize, but I sent her the link so she could tell us about what she thinks about resilience. She could come on the StreamYard, but she's in Jamaica, so I don't know if she's going to jump on.
We'd love to have her on.
I mean, I don't know if anybody's going to chime in about Meg too. Is she going to come on today, do you think? Or like where?
And
like, I'm like a genuine favorite, like I'm up on the favorite.
She does love you. So
I can't believe she won't even like pop her head in or like, let me hear a voice. I mean, I'm really starting to question this. Starting to question our existence. Rhonda said, Annie, you have the right attitude. Otherwise we'd all be sinking ships right now mentally. It's true. And many of us are, but I think it's really important to go back to gratitude and what we do have. And we are resilient as a people. But I mean, that's really all I got today. Do you have anything else you want to add? Oh, wait, Greg popped in. He's saying Masogi is spelled like that.
There we go. Masogi.
Did you put an R in it?
I don't know.
Michael has a question.
Where is Meg? Where is she?
Where in the world is Meg? Greg is saying it's definitely Masogi.
All right.
So, wait, hold on. Also, repeating yesterday will never build resiliency in a person. You must take that uncomfortable left-hand turn and take the risk.
I love this guy, Jonathan. I love him.
Isn't he great? He always has really good comments. And great.
Get connected.
Yeah, get connected with him. But you can connect with his wife, Meg. But we don't know if she will accept because we don't even know if she
Meg, connect with me.
Yeah, I mean, you're like my lovely wife. It's just confusing. That's all I'm saying. It's confusing. As to where she is. But we'll have to see. Where in the world is Meg MacGregor? Everyone, it has been Lovely chatting with you. Scott, as always, you're a pleasure to have.
Annie, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And we will
see everybody, I think, next Friday. And by then, so please tune in.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Metri's Humans 2.0 podcast. We're going to do it live on LinkedIn the 17th at 12 o'clock. And we are going to launch a brand new business that is going to change thousands of lives.
It's going to change some serious lives. I'm quite sure we're going to do a lot of content posts about this. I'm not worried about people knowing about the launch. So
a little bit.
All good. All right. I will see you soon, Scotty. Guys, thanks. Have a great one. It's been real.